Halloween is just around the corner, and that also means we are nearing the last 2 months of the year. Welcome, everybody, to my Oscar nomination predictions for the month of October. I can't believe that this month is just going fly by fast. I feel like I just did the September predictions just a few weeks ago, but now we're here for the month of October. So what I'll be doing here, for those who are new to the predictions, what I will do from August through December, at the end of the month, I would do a predictions for like the big 8 categories and one bonus one, which is the best animated feature category, if I have made changes, which I actually did. So you will see an update in my animated feature predictions after I finish the big 8. So there are a couple of things that has happened throughout the past month or so. As of this recording, the Banshees of Inisherin, Till, Wendell Wild, and most notably Todd Field's Tar. And I know this weekend, by the time when this video will be uploaded, Germany's adaptation of All Quiet on the Western Front would be released. And also, 2 film festivals had continued on this past month. The New York Film Festival, which not also showed us Till, but also made the premiere of She Said, and the BFI London Film Festival that premiered Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Cartoon Saloon's My Father's Dragon, and other showings of some of the films that have already played at other festivals, like Glass Onion and Knives Out Mystery, and Women Talking. So I will be going through a little bit of updates throughout some of these. Also, we had a couple of FYC ads also that had been up. Searchlight had did all of theirs, and they have confirmed Brendan Gleeson will go supporting. For Empire of Light, Olivia Colman will go leading and everyone else supporting. And they also did FYC ads for The Menu, which Ray Fiennes is going to be going leading with Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that right? Yes, yeah, I almost got mistaken for her for a second through Leah Sedux or Thomasin McKenzie for some reason. They also did ads for Good Luck to You, Leo Grande. Sony has some early FYC ads, but not some of the bigger ones yet, like I Want to Dance with Somebody or A Man Called Otto yet. Netflix has their FYC ads, but they aren't even Disney/20th Century Studios, but they don't have like their nomination candidates or something like that. United Artists has already released their FYC ads for Till and Women Talking. With the latter one, Rooney Mara is going leading while everyone else is going supporting. And ironically, they're not campaigning Frances McDormand for supporting actress. I'm guessing she probably has 5 minutes or something, I'm guessing. But she is in the Producers Guild list in the Best Picture lineup for to be submitted for Best Picture instead of supporting actress. Now, before I begin with my predictions, I just want to apologize if my voice kind of sounds a bit odd. I am actually kind of recovering this past weekend from what I like to call a season change illness. What that basically means is when that time of the season changes and your body doesn't act up for a day or so. That's kind of happened a bit with my throat, my head, a bit of my stomach, but not by much, but mainly my head area specifically kind of really hurts. And I just really wasn't feeling well this past weekend, but I'm kind of almost feeling a bit better. It's just my voice is kind of a bit odd with a little bit stuffiness and a little bit of throat soreness, but I am kind of perfectly fine. No COVID relations whatsoever. It's just the time of the season everyone has. So it usually happens to me throughout this month. I don't know how, but with that being said, I think it's time to get us into our predictions. For adapted screenplay for the month of October, I have Rian Johnson for Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery, Guillermo del Toro, Patrick McHale, and Matthew Robbins for Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, David McGee for A Man Called Otto, Kazuo Ishiguro for Living, and Sarah Polley for Women Talking. So the 2 I had in here last month were All Quiet on the Western Front, which, as I said, will be officially released this weekend, and She Said, which it is still a possibility, but I just have it out right now just for the fresh reactions at New York. Now, I don't think it's not out yet. Any movie like that premiered at festival reactions, they're not out. It's just that we want to see what the public's reactions are going to be. And it's still questioning on films like probably not going to be likely for like The Sun or Empire of Light or Bordeaux or False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths or even maybe The Whale for some of the categories. So I had to take She Said out, and I'm not sure how much how much of the script is dialogue driven for All Quiet on the Western Front and how more of that is more of a physical script. So the two new additions are Del Toro's Pinocchio and A Man Called Otto. Now, Del Toro's Pinocchio had made its premiere at the BFI London Film Festival and really got massive acclaim. I'm not saying it's like I'm really, really excited. It's just the hype. It's just that we still got the public's reaction to wait. It's not going to be out on Netflix until December. Maybe a little bit of theatrical runs, maybe throughout next month, maybe, if I'm correct. But it has... Del Toro says it's a completely different version of the story. Everyone knows the Disney film, of course, and everyone knows that everyone hates the live-action remake. And throughout the season, I hope they would say Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio so that the voters will not be confused with Robert Zemeckis' live-action remake, which I think that's the way they should go. Kind of like they went with, Tim Burton's Corpse Bride. A Man Called Otto, the trailer had dropped. Now, I actually really did love A Man Called Ove, the original Swedish film that adapted the original novel. And this is, of course, not just adapting the novel, but it's also remaking the 2016 movie. And it was a bit kind of surprising how I thought it was going to be, because I think there was somebody teased us it was going to be like in the style of a Western for some reason. But no, it's going to be in the same veins of the 2016 movie. You got the writer of Life of Pi behind this, although he also wrote the screenplay for Mary Poppins Returns, which could be a con. But it's kind of getting a little bit of vibes a bit. I am very curious to see how can it do well, because I really did enjoy A Man Called Ove. It should have won the international category that year, so I'm kind of putting it in here. Living, I'm very confident in. Glass Onion, that's still confident in. Women Talking is still everyone's front runner at the time being. There's no competition right now. Now, She Said could come back here next month. When it officially is released, we'll see how the public's reactions are compared to the audience, the early people who got to see it at the festival reactions, what I meant. So, I almost went with at the last minute. I'll probably get to that when we get to picture, so I'll save that when we get to it. Original screenplay has not changed for me. I still have Martin McDonagh for The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schneider for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg and Tony Kushner for The Fabelmans, Todd Field for Tar, and I'm one of the fewest people that's still sticking with, probably maybe one of the only that's sticking with Julie Cho, Domi Shi, and Sarah Stretcher for Turning Red. So I've already had explained my things on Babylon, why I don't have it in here, because I don't know how crazy that movie is going to be in. Banshees of Inisherin has been confirmed original through the FYC ads, because from what I heard, the plays have no connection to the film script. It's just the titles are just similar to the film's titles. So unless the Academy finds a way to put an adapter for some reason, then we all looked idiots putting in original. But I think this is confident it is original. And the other three are pretty much confident here, other than Turning Red. And now, there was another film here that I can actually mention here that I don't have it for anything right now because I'm not really sure how is it going to be. I almost fell in the RRR trapped. For those who don't know, RRR has been considered one of the best movies of the first half of the year. One of the biggest Bollywood films that really got a lot of contention internationally, especially here in the US through courtesy of Netflix. And I think it was released on Netflix through the US here. And the thing is, India did not submit it for its international category, unfortunately. So they didn't win with a big Bollywood action-packed movie. And the question is it more of a physical script for those who have seen the movie? Is it more physical? Let me know in the comments. But I'm just not really sure if Hollywood itself is going to respect a movie from Bollywood, a big Bollywood motion picture. So it is very questioning, and it is heavily campaigning. been seeing many YouTube, like if you go through like any Oscar predictions, the recent searches, like the uploaded dates of like when they of what are the new ones that came out, you would see a lot of RRR stuff, and like a lot of them are from India, and which I can understand that, and many articles are really building it up, kind of like they did with Writing with Fire, the documentary last year. But we'll just have to wait and see. It could be a Critics' Choice favorite, but like if it's a BAFTA's favorite is more the questioning. Probably a Globe's favorite for a nomination for non-English language, but like, is it like an industry favorite for like the BAFTAs or some of the guilds or stuff like that? So that is more of a wait and see kind of a thing. And I did kind of made a change a bit. I brought back Everything Everywhere All at Once as my front runner. I had said The Fablemans last month because The Fablemans is basically Spielberg's Belfast, and it would win screenplay, but I switched it up a bit with Everything Everywhere All at Once. For supporting actress, I have Jessie Buckley in Women Talking, Carrie Condon in The Banshees of Inisherin, Claire Foy in Women Talking, Nina Hoss in Tar, and Stephanie Seuss in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So last month I had Samantha Morton in here, and she said, and for the reactions, everyone loved her in that. Although the thing is, she's only in 10 minutes, and 10 minutes can still put her in here, but it's just like, for some reason, there was a confirmation through some sort of Gold Derby site that said that it's confirmed that they said that Zoe Kazan is leading and Carey Mulligan supporting. But there's no FYC ads yet for She Said as of this recording on October 24th. So I haven't looked this up yet. I forgot what the company was behind She Said again. So if they did put them in leading, then this is why I never used Gold Derby as a search, because although I do look at to see like the list of like the contenders they have, like specifically, and more of a spelling thing for me to make sure I have a spell check correctly, but it's just like I don't usually trust Gold Derby a lot. It's not my thing. I'm not a like they're not. I don't know how can you put them experts or something like that, because no one's an expert when it comes to these predictions, especially for those who have not seen everything that's been nominated. So unless you have seen all like Women Talking, Banshees, and Tara at TIFF, and you also saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, and you say which one's the best of the five. Now I did state it last month. I said I had Jessie Buckley as my front runner. Now I have Claire Foy. Although Carrie Condon is possible if Buckley and Condon split, or even Stephanie Seuss. Now for Nina Hoss and Tar, now she actually plays a key role from what I heard. Although it's not like a very big major role, but it does play a massive part for Cate Blanchett's character. And I feel like that could be a thing where that could really recognize. And she's been a well-known German actress for a long time, and this could finally give her like a major American attraction for this movie. And also to expand the additional nominations for Todd Field's acting nominations here from, because remember, we got 3 for In the Bedroom and 2 for Little Children, maybe an additional 2 more for Tar. Nothing really else in the top of my head here, because I feel like I'm confident with these, with 4 of them. Haas is just like the 5th spot, but it's just like, we'll see how it goes when we continue on next month. For supporting actor, I did not change mine. It's still Brendan Gleeson in The Banshees of Inisherin, which obviously now confirmed supporting, Judd Hirsch in The Fablemans, Ki Hugh Kwan in his supposed lead performance in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, let me know, as I've said in the last video, if you think he's leading, let me know in the comments. Brian Tyree Henry in Causeway, and Ben Whishaw in Women Talking. As I said with the FYC ads, it confirmed Gleeson supporting, but I've been very curious on the A24 ads, because right now, everyone, including myself, would have Ki Hugh Kwan out front. But if he is pushing leading, I might have to go with Ben Whishaw. Here is my frontrunner possibility here for supporting actor. So it really depends. If A24 puts him supporting, I think we got a sweep. If they put him in leading, still good for a nomination for him in leading, but Ben Whishaw probably would be the frontrunner status for me. Some people said Brendan Gleeson. Judd Hirsch, small time, I don't think so, but I still have him for the nomination over Paul Dano and Seth Rogen. I am still sticking with Brian Tyree Henry here because everyone loves his performance in Causeway, and also to make sure I didn't want to make this list as white as possible, and I think he definitely is a good choice here to put him for supporting actor, and especially for comedic actor in a dramatic movie. Which one would be more likely? I think him in Causeway. Actress, I had to make the massive sacrifice of putting somebody in here. I have Naomi Ackie and I Want to Dance with Somebody, Cate Blanchett in Tar, Daniela Deadwyler in Till, Michelle Williams in her supporting performance in The Fabelmans, according to everyone who saw the movie, and Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. So yeah, I didn't went with Michelle Williams last time because I was still confident in Zoe Kazan, which I had in here last month. Now I don't. I feel like this might be a bit too easy, although some people might still have Margot Robbie in here for Babylon, which I'm still not confident in any acting nominations right now for Babylon just because of how crazy that movie is. I don't have Brad Pitt in for supporting, I don't have Diego Calvo for leading, or Jean Smart and Lee for supporting actress. So the best to go was Michelle Williams. I know Viola Davis was also confirmed leading in The Woman King through the FYCS, because that's another movie that had FYCS for, but I'm just not confident in it because I might have to consider changing Blanchett as my front runner, but I am still a bit confident in Deadwyler for me, per se. So I'm going to stick here for at least one more month here for the month of October with Daniela Deadwyler as my front runner, with Blanchett probably up in the corner to probably take over the position, which Tar has now been out, Till has now been out. It's just that we don't know what Naomi Ackie is going to say with I Want to Dance with Somebody. And is Michelle Williams really leading? Because I think I've said this in the last prediction video that I think Universal decided to put her in leading just because they saw the trailer and not the movie itself. So that could be a big, massive mistake. But right now I still have Deadwyler out front for me at least. But Blanchett could be a changeman, or it could be like Blanchett would take all the critics' prizes and Deadwyler would take all the televised awards, which is a possibility. So we'll just see how this race goes, because Michelle Yeoh still could be Michelle Yeoh could be a SAG favorite, as we know. So oh boy, this could be a bloodbath between three unless Robbie comes in here to join with us in the fourth. But for actor, I have Colin Farrell in The Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser in The Whale, Tom Hanks in A Man Called Otto, Bill Nighy in Living, and Jim Parsons in Spoiler Alert. Now it's officially called Spoiler Alert instead of Spoiler Alert, the hero dies. Just one FYI. So Fraser, this one's pretty much still, everyone has him as front, same with me. Colin Farrell, I'm confident in. I'm still going with the Austin Butler pulls the Taron Egerton vibes, for me at least, because Bill Nighy, I definitely think his veteran status. After looking the trailer and seeing a different, although it feels like more of Tom Hanks being a grumpier version of himself if he wasn't an actor, but if he is going to go in the same realm as I forget the actor's name. I know Hennes Holm was the director, but I forgot the original actor in the film. That could be something I'm very curious to see how Hanks does it prior to the original actor's performance. And I'm still sticking with the Jim Parsons things because, spoiler alert, it's a movie Parsons' passion behind it. He's a producer, and it's being directed by Michael Showalter. And I actually did had spoiler alert for a bit in adapted screenplay, but I replaced that, I believe, with it was A Man Called Otto. Yeah, I took put A Man Called Otto over spoiler alert, and I did took Son Kang-oh out here for Broker. He still has a possibility that could pull the Penelope Cruz thing where his film was not submitted and can still get in for actor with no precursors. But some people are looking at the leads and Decision to Leave, maybe for both the lead acting spots, maybe for an international performance. I don't know about Daniel Bruhl and All Quiet on the Western Front. I don't think that's a possibility. But it's just the stars in Decision to Leave or Son Kang-ho could get in here for any of the acting positions. But I'm a little bit kind of curious on how it goes. So for director, I am still sticking with Edward Berger for All Quiet on the Western Front as the international spot for at the time being. Daniel Kwan and Daniel Stern for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg for The Fablemans, Todd Field for Tar, and Sarah Polley for Women Talking. I did have to make the sacrifice and took Joseph Kosinski out for Top Gun Maverick and put Todd Field in because Tar is now looking like a top 4, like a top 5 movie to be precise. Because our top 3, I think, we're still without a doubt are Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, and Women Talking. I feel like Tar is definitely in the top 5, either the 4th or 5th spot, and I feel confident with Todd Field more so than Joseph Kosinski at the moment. Unless Kosinski could come back here, unless James Cameron has something to say when we get to December, but I think unless not a lot of people have high passions towards All Quiet on the Western Front for the director category, maybe Del Toro for his Pinocchio film if it could be the first animated film for director, but that's probably a little bit too much. If Netflix does want to go with that as their big contender instead of All Quiet on the Western Front. So, other possibilities, Marty McDonagh still needs to make up for that 3 Billboard snub. Looking here, Chazelle is still a possibility for Babylon. I forget the director's name, but Till could be a possibility. If it's not going to be Maria Schrader for She Said, if they want to get a second female director contender that is more stronger than Schrader, then it would be, I forget the director's name, Till, but we'll just have to wait and see. Like, we'll just have to see what the public's reactions towards The Fablemans are going to be, and like the public's reactions towards Women Talking. And for my 10 contenders for Best Picture, I have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, Tar, Till, Top Gun Maverick, and Women Talking. So I took She Said out and replaced it with Till, because you would think, like, at first glance, you'd think, oh, if you have Till, why don't you have an original screenplay? Well, original screenplay maybe be packed, but I don't know how much of the script is the biggest thing when it comes to the movie, other than Detweiler's performance. And some people think it could, like, in some of the technical levels, it could do well, like costume design. The cinematography plays a key aspect, which could get in for Till. And that's why I feel like if it has a little bit more of a technical support, I feel like I'm a bit confident with Till getting in for picture, with Detweiler, costume design, and maybe cinematography. Since, as I've said, I heard it does play a key aspect to the movie. All Quiet on the Western Front, I'm still probably having it right now as Netflix's biggest contender, unless the critics just, when it releases, are not really big to it, or don't have a high passion for it. Babylon, I'm still saying it's only going to get a bunch of texts, and that's it. Because I don't know how that movie's going to do in terms of the bigger categories of how crazy that movie is going to be. Banshees of Inisherin, I think, is the top 5 with Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, Tar, and Women Talking. Del Toro's Pinocchio is more likely to get in here after its big reaction in London, and with Del Toro's massive support. And also it could get in other categories. I have it for screenplay, as you can see. Visual effects is looking likely because the visual effects branch loves their stop motion films. Original score, I heard there's a possibility of a song going in there. It could be the first animated film to get in for production design is a possibility, because it is a stop motion film, and that could really be a good thing. Like, stop motion films could also be loved by the production designers branch because of how real it actually, there's a real set on it compared to hand-drawn and computer animated films, although they should also be recognized for their works as well in the production designers branch. Tar, as I said in the last category, top 5. I already mentioned about Till. I'm still confident with Top Gun Maverick here, but though many people are speculating, and I actually almost did this, instead of Till, I didn't took out Top Gun Maverick. I'm still sticking it in regardless, but instead of Till, I didn't type it in, but I almost jumped on the train and said Black Panther Wakanda Forever. But I want to see how Black Panther Wakanda Forever goes in here for next month. And if it does so well, it might go in place over either Till or All Quiet on the Western Front for me. And if Avatar The Way of Water comes in, it'll probably go over Till for my predictions. But I'm still confident with Top Gun Maverick in Best Picture, even with Black Panther and Avatar, if they're all three of them are on the picture lineup. And I'm just still sticking with Women Talking as the picture frontrunner because obviously, if you can tell, it is the smaller movie compared to the other nine. Although it's not a big critic favorite right now, like around 88% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it depends on the public's reactions to it. But that could be a movie where the Academy might be, because I've heard many comparisons to like, it could be, as I think I've said this before, that I think like it's basically like Spotlight with but more in the religious aspect, and it's more like a 12 Angry Men style movie, which is something I really didn't like. A movie setting in one setting could be a good thing, although there is like multiple settings, like outside of like the infamous cabin or something like that, and even the scenes with Ben Whishaw, from what I heard. But it just like it could be too disturbing for some people to watch, and it could be like a one and done movie. But then again, 12 Years a Slave and Spotlight were one and done movies, and they still won the best picture regardless. So unless the general public are not highly passionate for the film, Everything Everywhere All at Once could be the front runner at the moment. But I think we're still looking at our top three being Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fablemans, and Women Talking. Before we finish this predictions off, let's do my bonus predictions for Best Animated Feature. Now, there is one candidate I have in here that is being released sometime during the winter in France, but we don't know when it's going to have its North American release. Is it going to be released kind of like a January, February thing to get in for awards qualification? Or is it going to be like the first film where it was originally released in 2012 but didn't get a awards consideration for like a North American run until 2013? And you might know what it is if you have seen the trailer. So right now I have Ernest and Celestine 2, A Trip to Gibarita, or Gibarita. I don't know how... Gibarita? I think that's what you'll call it. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, which that is the front runner, of course, for everyone. My Father's Dragon, Suzumi no Maria, and Turning Red. Suzumi no Maria, I don't know how to pronounce that. That is actually the newest film, Japanese animated film from the guy that did Your Name and Weathering with You. Now, yes, it is a possibility he might not. His third movie might not get in here because the past two did not. But it really depends on the reactions on Strange World and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. If both of those movies don't have a big critic favorite, then there could be a possibility that could get in. And as I mentioned, we don't know. Ernest and Celestine 2 does have a trailer, but we don't know, and it is supposed to be released in France sometime either next month or December, but the North American release is kind of questioning at the moment. But I think we have three confidents here with Del Toro's Pinocchio, Father's Dragon, which also premiered at BFI, as I mentioned, and a lot of people really loved it. And Turning Red is still like our frontrunner that has been released to the public, but it's going to probably change once we get to Del Toro's Pinocchio when it's officially released to the public in December. So that's going to be it. As I've said, I do apologize on my voice here. As I've said, I'm kind of recovering here, so been almost stuffing a bit, but thank you guys for watching this video. New to the channel, hit that subscribe, comment down below what your predictions are in these categories, who is your potential frontrunner for these, and we'll see if Black Panther Wakanda Forever could jump into the Best Picture lineup next month. Can She Said get back to more critic favorites? Is The Fablemans gonna be our picture frontrunner when the public sees it? Or are we going to hear early words from Babylon or Avatar: The Way of Water? Well, we have to get through the Thanksgiving holiday season to find out.